My name is Missy. I'm a little excited about this reading today because I've wanted to get this particular deck here for a while. It's the Mystic Martian Oracle. So what we're going to do is a pick a card reading. We're going to look at your starseed origins. I want to look at what are your starseed origins, and more specifically beyond that, because I've always been very interested in starseeds. I have to admit I don't know a whole lot about them, which is the reason that I wanted this particular deck. But beyond that, you know, what are the crystals that are best suited for each starseed, right? So I want to ask that question today, which is why we have these two decks here. But more importantly, the reason that I'm doing this introduction is because of this particular deck. I just want to warn you before we get into the reading that this deck here is going to be a little bit explicit. It is called, as you can see, I'm not going to say what the title is. It's nicely bleeped out for me right there on the cover of the book. So as you can tell from the title, you know, it's not going to be for the faint of heart, which is exactly what it says on the back of the deck. But it's an awesome deck. Just give it a chance. If you're okay with some explicit content, give it a chance. So this is the box for that particular deck here, and what it says, in case it's not abundantly obvious, this deck is not for the faint of heart. If you clutch your pearls at the sight of aliens wielding phallic probes, this may not be the deck for you. However, if you possess a cosmic one capable of abducting farmers from their land and love all things ray gun and UFO, this deck will help you embrace your power and delve into your own psyche. So we're going to do a reading today looking at the starseed archetypes from this deck. And I want to ask, you know, not just what the starseed archetype is, and we're going to read from the book to see, it has some explanations in there. But I also kind of want to ask, what are you supposed to do with that? As well as, what are the crystals that are best suited for you? And we're going to do it in a pick a card format for each sign. So you'll see this introduction multiple times if you're watching for your sun, moon, and rising, or if you're cross-watching for other signs. Yeah, I think I've said everything that I need to say, other than these readings are meant to be timeless and general in nature. So if the details for this reading fit for your personality, right? Because your personality or your situation, because that's really what you're looking at here with these archetypes. So like I say, I wanted to explain that I am not an expert on starseeds. That's the reason that I bought this book. I'm learning about it with you watching this video, or maybe you know more than I do about it. Maybe I'm learning about it and just sharing what I'm learning here with you. But I thought we could explore it together. So you know, just take what comes from this reading only if it resonates for you. If it doesn't resonate for you, don't try to push it. Don't try to force it. You'll do more harm than good. And obviously, I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or accountant. So if you have questions concerning that kind of stuff, you really need to see a professional. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into your reading. Before we get completely into the reading, I want to go ahead and read what it says about starseeds here in the book. Let's see. Okay, so it says, starseeds prior to this or other Earth incarnations have experienced life elsewhere in cosmos other than Earth. Some starseeds have recall activated in their DNA due to Earth's limited recall access biosphere from ancient historical collective trauma. Others have no actual memories at all. All starseeds have an inkling, sensing, or knowing that this incarnation at some point originated and belongs to something somewhere far bigger. Many starseeds have an inner awareness level of consciousness development outside of the predictable mainstream narratives. Starseeds are typically spiritual in nature and have healing energies. Some are very new souls on Earth, while others are very old souls that have experienced many contracted incarnations on Earth to evolve and pass on ancient esoteric wisdoms. The newer souls will be continuing the older souls' work. Different starseeds will naturally resonate towards different aliens and galactic alliances. It is not uncommon for awakening starseeds to have dreams, memories of traveling ET crafts, or experiences of UFO encounters. Starseeds are here now to assist in the transitioning and activation of the collective consciousness on Earth. So, based on what it says there, I'm taking this to mean that, you know, you can belong to one particular starseed family but have interactions from many others. Hi, Aries. Give me a second to get the cards shuffled and get our groups set up so that you can choose which group that you want. If I didn't already explain, we're going to make this a pick card. So my intention for the reading is that we look at which starseed are you, what are you supposed to do with that knowledge, and which crystals are the best for you personally. And when I say that, I mean for you personally, being the person who has chosen, you know, this specific group, or I should say the Aries who has chosen this specific group. That means that those crystals are meant for you specifically, not every starseed in that family. So let's get one more shuffle and we'll choose our groups. Well, that one wants to come out, obviously. Oh, no, I can't get my hands on the others. I think what we're going to do, it just feels right now. You know, interesting, that one wanted 2 to come out, so group 3 is going to get 2 cards. I feel like I need to choose the crystals as well, so we're going to go ahead and do that on camera, just to help you choose your reading. We're going to do them face down, but some people like to watch the shuffling to help them choose which group they would like. So let's go ahead and do that. Just breathe with me, relax. Okay, so we have group 1, group number 2, and group number 3. Go ahead and give you a minute. Sorry, trying to keep it straight. There we go. Okay, hello group 1. Let's go ahead and see which starseed you are. You're a blue avian. If you chose this group, we're going to read that in just a second. And your crystal would be moldavite. Does not surprise me at all. So let's see what it says about blue avians. Number 7. I guess I opened to it right away without even realizing. It says blue avians are mammalian humanoid ETs with bird-like features. Their origins are unclear. Encounter reports claim they are now from Encounter reports claim they are now from another multiverse, though originated from our local star clusters. Blue avians have some resemblance to the offshoot of Lyrian genetic lineage known as bird people. The blue avian are 6th to 9th density, or meaning dimensional, 6th to 9th dimensional beings, tall with slender body frames. They are covered in soft bluish to indigo feather down. They have a cool, calm, and diplomatic nature with a profound and intelligent understanding of ontological, philosophical, and metaphysical phenomena. Excuse me, my eyes. They are well versed on the law of one material, Egyptian sunbird god Ra. They are remarkable time-traveling explorers using spherical orb teleportation technology. Blue avian ETs have been referenced in many ancient mythological documentation, including Mayan, Egyptian, Hindu, and Babylonian literature and artifacts. The blue avian archetype coincides with what history labels angels and are known as the ancient builder race and architects of the quadrant of the universe. The blue avian mission is largely to protect all of life and assist in the development of human ascension. So the card meaning, it talks about inner work, philosophy, esoteric knowledge, releasing karma, mysticism, ascension. It's a divine masculine energy, self-discovery, scholar, the intellect, study, education, diplomacy, and science. When it's reversed, or when it's in its toxic nature, it's exoteric or earthly, outer focused, ignorant, and has a messiah complex. There's information that's, an information overload. Karma is at hand, non-qualified, and mainstream, or meaning that they're too much like everyone else. They're not individual. So it really makes sense reading that to have Moldavite come out. I'm not surprised at all. Moldavite is a very high frequency stone. You may already be drawn to it. You may already have jewelry or pieces of Moldavite that you either wear, carry, or use in some way. But this just kind of confirms for you that, yeah, Moldavite would be a very good crystal. And I think just to give you some, I want to do like other, because not everybody is going to either want to wear Moldavite. Maybe, there's some people who don't enjoy wearing Moldavite. So let's see if there are any other crystals that would work well for you. We have Amazonite, same color family. So it looks like green is going to be a really good color for you. We have pyrite. I look at more green and jade. So definitely green. Any green stone I think will be very healing for you. Especially if you wear it in gold because of the gold coloring coming through of the pyrite. But carrying pyrite, pyrite is a stone of abundance and manifestation. So interesting that the keywords here on the cards are dream work and spark of life. So what that tells me is that rather than dream work being in dream time, I feel like this has more to do with what you're passionate about, your creative work, what it is that you're trying to put out there into the world, what brings joy into your life, or brings joy into your day, I should say, because it feels, I just have to read it the way it feels, even though I'm looking at what are you supposed to do with this. I do feel like that's saying what the way that you're spending your time each day is not fulfilling you, and that's where this energy comes in. That's where this message comes in. There's something about how you're spending your time each day that they want you to use this energy towards your mysticism, your philosophy. Okay, so let's get some more details. I want to see what is this here. What is this? Like, what is it? What is it that might bring you joy? So we're going to use the Tarot of, where's my box? The Tarot of the Sweet Twilight for this. And if I didn't say so already, this particular deck is the Liquid Crystal Oracle by Justin Moakeha Asar. Okay. What is it that will bring you passion? Spark some joy. What is it that when you're fantasizing during the day, because I think that might be what it's about. That's how the jade feels to me, where it says dream work. And now we have the Three of Wands, waiting for your ships. What is it that you're fantasizing about? Like, what is it? Maybe you're actually, it's not just fantasizing. Maybe you really are trying to manifest your dream, and you really are waiting for it to come in. And now you have the, what's this? The Ace of Pentacles. This one here is a new deck for me, so forgive me if I don't know exactly which cards they are right away. This, I think, is the maybe second time that I'm using it. Alright, so how is Group 1 supposed to use their philosophy, their mysticism and philosophy? Oh, right there, right there, right there. And here, and I feel like right here. And actually, I feel like it goes like this, and then this, and then this. Interesting that it's all 2, 2, 2. So 2, 2, 2 can be either the number 2 or 2, 2, 2 is important. And look, the number 2 on the bottom of the deck again. So the number 2 is definitely important to you. This could be a partnership. This is how you're supposed to use this energy. Also, the blue avians, communication, avians, bird-like people. Obviously, this is air energy. So in some way you're supposed to communicate your knowledge or your wisdom. There's something else I'm feeling here, but I'm not exactly sure how to vocalize it. Interesting. Okay. It could be, I have to be honest about one other thing. It could be that you actually look a little bit like what it says the Starseed, your Starseed family is. You may look avian, meaning that you may have like a high arched brows, a long sort of aquiline nose, right, or a long straight bridge nose, kind of similar to this here, where it may kind of give you what they call resting bitch face in some way. It doesn't, I mean, I'm not saying that you know whether you have resting bitch face or not, but yeah. And then obviously there's a lot of psychic ability coming through as well with this card, because of the little, you see that there over his third eye. So you're supposed to communicate your psychic knowledge. All right, and so we have the Two of Pentacles. Also, you're supposed to mirror. Yeah, you're supposed to mirror. So maybe this is the shadow work that you do, the healing that you've gained from your shadow work. You're supposed to help others. That could be the support, the partnership that you're meant to have. Maybe it's not so much a partnership with one other person. Maybe this is a partnership with many other people to help them through shadow work based on this card here. Okay. We've got the Lovers and the Fool. So very clearly we have a partnership in terms of love, right? So I would say this is definitely saying you're meant to use this in a partnership that's a love partnership, absolutely, in some way. And I would say probably with your children as well, just because of this card here. It just, even, it's the Fool, it's a major arcana, and it is Aries energy, so it is your card. But this particular Fool card in this deck feels childish to me. So maybe you're meant to have a family and children, or you're meant to use this energy with your family and children to help them grow and flourish because of all the, look at all the flowers. Look at how beautiful that is. All the different types of flowers as well. You also could have some sort of herbal or gardening knowledge, something that has to do with like, because look at the grass as well. You see how everything that they're on, it's all green and lush, right? So maybe you've got a green thumb. Yeah, something about either growing things, probably growing flowers, but it doesn't have to be, it can be herbs as well. Or just growing, making things, you know, making things abundant and beautiful, but for your family. Okay, and now we have the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Swords. Very interesting, because I thought this one was going to be the Nine of Swords. She's got a sword in her hand, which is not typical for a Nine of Wands. So you've been having, like, look at the way she's praying in the Nine of Swords over here, right? I gotta be honest, the way the cards are together, they have a different meaning than what the traditional meaning. I'm looking at just the images. It looks to me like one person is conquering the other. So I'm going to read it exactly as I see it. This person looks as if they're begging someone for forgiveness. And it is after a long fight. Obviously, you see the swords in the background of this one. They're all standing upright, or, you know, they've been sort of, you know, thrown into the ground to where they would stand upright. You know how swords do that, right? So the wands are doing the same thing over here. And in the Nine of Wands, it's the wounded warrior. So, you know, and typically the wounded warrior, this would be the last, she's the last one standing, the last one, you know, fighting. Everyone else, there's no or she's waiting for reinforcements to come, but they're not there yet. Everyone else around her, they're either off fighting their own fight, or they've fallen in some way. But typically these wands, she would be facing off against the wands. But it looks like she's won. She has, you know, she has claimed victory, and there's someone is asking for forgiveness over here. So there's something about maybe helping others to, we already saw overcome their shadow, but maybe helping others to maybe overcome a shadow that's a little bit darker or harder in some way, right? Because not everyone is going to have the same shadow. Some people, their shadow is going to be just a little bit heavier than others. And this feels like maybe that's like kind of what you're meant to do. It feels a little bit like counseling in some way. But there's, I have to be honest, there's like a warning here about being too aggressive, because this person is crying, right? Maybe there's something about your words, especially because there's swords. There's a lot of swords coming through. We do have the blue avian energy here, which we know is air energy, communication energy. So there's something about your words that can be very hard and sharp and cutting, especially because in this Nine of Wands, you typically don't see the knight or the soldier in the Nine of Wands carrying a sword. They're carrying a wand. That is their weapon, is the wand, being their passion. But in this particular Nine of Wands, this soldier or knight has a sword, meaning their weapon is their words. So be careful. Just take that warning the way that it's meant to be. And then finally, we do have the Page of Swords with the Five of Pentacles. So more energy that talks about your words. And the Page of Swords has to do with, like, it can be gossip, right? Five of Pentacles can be an energy of rejection. It looks like one person is supporting another person, like one person is feeding someone else the gossip, and this person is the one delivering the gossip to someone else. This one kind of throws me. Maybe, you know, I got to be honest. So if we're following the theme here, you're helping others in their relationships in some way where they have to ask forgiveness for something hard, something difficult. So this, it's almost like where this can go both ways. This can go where you have one person giving someone information that's probably just gossip and false, and so that person then takes that information and they go and reject someone else. That's what these cards, if you're looking at just the traditional meaning, right? Because the Page of Swords is about communication of some type, and it's typically you know, gossip can be what the Page of Swords, it's either gossip or like spying or, you know, some sort of immature communication, because all pages are immature energy, childlike energy. So childlike communication, which is, you know, gossip. And these kind of look like children here. So maybe you're helping kids to be nice to each other so that they don't bully each other so much. That could be something, especially if you work with kids. But I feel like it's more in terms of helping people, like, you know, people, society nowadays, it's just so funny to me. This cancel culture, we have so many people who talk about how compassionate and aware and conscious they are of their fellow beings, and yet I see all kinds of different things on the news and just different headlines or whatever that seem to contradict that, right? I'm not going to go into different examples, but it kind of feels like that's this energy here where you have people who jump on the bandwagon or whatever the trend is in terms of being conscious. They want to fit in with the crowd, and so they're kind of parroting or repeating words that they've heard others say without really quite understanding the meaning of those words, right? That's sort of how this feels. And so there's like a message based on that that's like a warning as well, where we came back here. Like if you're into counseling in some way, which I think this is really what this is getting at, is some sort of counseling, right? Or some sort of communication. You're communicating your wisdom and your knowledge in some way. So if that's the case, they're saying that they're bringing this to your attention right now, or you were brought to this reading right now, because there's something about the words, your words, that might be a little bit harsh. They want you to be aware of that. You could make some people feel rejected with your words if you're not careful. And it could be young people, like kids, especially if you're working with kids. You've got to be careful with those harsh words. Let's get some clarification here. So what I want to ask, it's very clear to me that kids is coming through really strong, but I want to ask, like, what type of working with kids, right? Let's see if we can just get a little bit more information on each one. Like, how would you be working with kids? Or younger people. If it's not kids, it's people who are younger in some way. This deck's a little bit hard to shuffle, but I still love it. Oh, I guess we got two of them that are wanting to come out. Anything else? Oh, okay. Okay, so we have the Three of Probes on the bottom of the deck. So more of this, like, waiting for your ships to come in energy, like you're waiting for something good to happen. We have the Six of Discs, which is the Six of Pentacles, the Ace of Ray Guns, the Nine of Pentacles, the World card, the Six of Specimen, and the Knight of Specimens. Interesting that every single character is smiling huge. So that's number one. And you have a couple of sixes here. I feel like whatever you're doing, I feel like, to be honest, okay, so whatever it is that you're doing, and by the way, the Six of Specimens talks about, it also brings up kids again, so I think this might be actually kids. Whatever it is that you're doing with kids, it involves travel, because look at all of the spaceships, and then you have the world here as well, right? There's something where you're traveling for this. And I gotta be really honest, looking at these two, especially this one as well, with the specimens, it might have to do with either food. Like, I think it has to do with food in some way, because she almost looks like a waitress to me. Right here, this Nine of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles is typically, I'm going to read the traditional meaning in just a second. I'm just looking at the images right now, because that's what I like to do first when I'm reading cards. But, the Nine of Pentacles is typically energy of someone who's very successful, very independent. So and the fact that she looks like a waitress, it literally looks, you know how waitresses carry the plates when they're bringing them out to your table. That's what it looks like with that spaceship there. So maybe you teach kids how to cook. I feel like cookies and like, or cookies and lemonade, something like that. Like if it's something about, like there's travel involved and food. Also teaching them how to be of service and to be of charity to others. So that brings a couple of scenarios to mind, right? That could be at church, right? Feeding the homeless, or you know how some churches will have the weekend, the food drives, things like that. That could also be like the Girl Scouts, because I'm thinking about, you know how the Girl Scouts go around selling cookies. It also brings to mind like cheerleaders or some sort of band or something like that, right? Where you would need to do fundraising. Cookies and lemonade brings up the idea of like fundraising or like food stands. And you're very happy doing it, by the way, too, like traveling all around, bringing your, whatever it is that you have to offer, whatever it is that you're making. Now, we have to talk about the Three of Probes. Oh, look at another three, the Three of Specimens. All right, so I was gonna talk about, you know, because he kind of looks like he's, you know, lost in a field of dicks. So sorry. I hope I don't get banned. Oh God, I hope this video is, or all of these, because I'm gonna make 12 of these. I hope I'm able to keep them up on YouTube. I don't know if they will or not. Anyway, look at how he looks lonely and alone and rejected, which is the theme of this particular card over here, right? Where you've got people who are gossiping and saying mean things behind each other's back. This is even more, it really, I just got to say it, how like Girl Scouts or cheerleading is really coming to mind with this right here, because that's exactly what girls like to do. Like boys do it too, but girls really like to do that, you know, the mean girl thing, and that's kind of how this feels. Although this looks like this is a mean girl saying something to some dude who's probably popular, and then he's saying things to other girls and making them feel rejected. But you know, take that however it resonates for your situation. Anyway, it just looks to me like, and then there's more girls here as well, by the way. So it could be something to do with, you know, Girl Scouts or something. But anyway, this person over here looks like they're kind of stuck in a with a bunch of jerks surrounding them, right? A bunch of jerks surrounding them, when really what they would like to have is a bunch of friends surrounding them. So maybe you're helping children. And look, here's another 3 underneath that page of discs. So 3 threes, 333, helping children to be kinder and gentler. Look at the Empress. She's got the Venus symbol around her neck, right over her throat chakra. And we were already talking about wisdom. So it's literally going around doing like some sort of charity service with children to uplift children, probably girls, some sort of Girl Scout, something or other that has to do with like food stands. Maybe you're teaching kids how to cook, something along those lines, where you're supposed to use your wisdom speaking. Yeah, okay, so the last thing that we're going to do for this group is a very quick charms. Just to see if there's anything else that they want to say for the reading. Get all of this cleared so that I have room. All right. So Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, if that wasn't already kind of abundantly clear from the video. This is just going to be just to check over the next, you know, I don't know, month or couple of months, let's say, what is it that you need to know or understand about the information that we just looked at when you're reading? What's coming next? What do you need to be aware of? Oy. So we have a couple of them that tried to jump off the table, one of them being this dolphin, but it didn't. It landed really right there on the edge. So dolphins represent joy, and you see that it's coming out over the 3rd house as well. The 3rd house being the house of communication. We've already talked about your words and how you need to really be careful with your words, because they could be a little bit more harsh than what you are wanting, right? And so to have the dolphin almost fall off of the table like that, and you know, as far away from the board as it fell, what that tells me is that you may not notice the effects of your effects of your words right now. Like, you may be listening to me and going, "What are you talking about? I'm fine. My words aren't harsh." But like maybe in a year from now, you might find that actually, you know, somebody, like, you might almost lose either a friendship, or there might almost be a problem, right? Because if a charm falls off of the table, I always read that as, you know, it's something that you've lost, right? Because it jumps off the board. It's no longer on the table, and that phrase means it's no longer an option. So you're almost going to lose joy in about a year's time if you keep communicating the way that you're communicating now, is what this message is. Especially because we've got the palm fronds, and my own personal interpretation of the palm fronds, it always reminds me of like Palm Sunday, because I was raised Catholic. It's just my own thing. So I always feel like it's a message of you need to reach out to others, right? Because we would go to church on Palm Sunday when I was a kid, and so it was a community thing for me. And so anytime I see the palm fronds, that's what I get, the sense of community, the need to reach out to others, or maybe somebody's going to reach out to you. But because we've already had that message, we know that we're talking about your own personal style of communication and how important it is to your starseed origins, you could lose some joy if you're not careful with your communication. So just take that however it resonates for your situation. And then having these fall off the board, I'm going to go ahead and explain these houses now, because it's the 5th and 6th house. This is the house of children. The 6th house is the house of service. And again, we already spoke about the starseed origin energy, the blue avian energy, and how more than likely you will be of service in some way to children. So this particular crystal here is a small piece of moonstone. And whenever anything falls off of this particular board onto the table in this area, if it's this, pretty close to the board, I would consider it within a couple of months. Anything that falls further, I'm gonna, I'd read that as about a year or more. So I would say for this one, about 2 months out. The moonstone energy is divine feminine energy, right? It's a very sort of nurturing, mommy kind of energy. It's the moon. It's moon energy. And so what it's saying is that maybe you might need to nurture some creativity, nurture, whatever it is that you're doing here in the next couple of months. Get creative with it, especially because this is the 5th house, and it is, if you're an Aries rising, that means that 5th house is going to be ruled by Leo for you, which is the sign that is ruled by the sun. And this house is the house of creativity, all creative things, being music, art, acting, anything creative, children, also romance. But there's something that you're going to need to nurture here that's related to this house within the next couple of months. And then again, there's over here within several months, you'll need to study something related to this, because we have a piece of blue fluorite coming out. So you're going to need to study, but also blue fluorite is going to attach to your throat chakra. So you're going to need to study and then pass along whatever it is that you're learning. You need to share your wisdom at least within several months. That's going to really come into focus for you, studying or sharing what you've been studying, or the need to study so that you can share your wisdom. Interesting that you've got 2 pieces of tourmalated quartz as well coming out over the 4th house with I call this my goodnight moon, because it kind of looks like the moon from that book. Anyway, it was upside down. So whenever a charm is upside down, I read it as something that you are avoiding or you just don't see. So having 2 pieces of tourmalated quartz come out over the 4th house tells me that you are avoiding shadow work. Especially because this is, again, if you ever read the book Goodnight Moon, it's a nighttime, it's a book that you read to your kids to get them to go to bed at night, right? So it's talking about like nighttime dream time, which is a 12th house Pisces thing. Come on, focus. Of course, when I want it to, it doesn't. Oh my God, whatever. So frustrating. But anyway, so maybe you aren't sleeping well, right? And the reason that you're not sleeping well is because you're not balanced. You don't feel safe. You don't feel secure, because this is tourmalated quartz. That's what black tourmaline is, a protection stone, and quartz is a master healer. The reason that it's a master healer is because it balances all of your chakras. It gets down in there, right? And cleans it all out. And then the black tourmaline keeps, the striations of the black tourmaline keeps the light flowing along those chakras to keep them balanced. So that's how you stay protected, is by staying balanced. That's how you get a good night's sleep, is by balancing your health, right? Your energy, your mental and emotional balance needs to be correct in order to get a good night's sleep. So that's what they're bringing up here. In the 2nd house, we do have the number 3 domino, which is the 2 and 1. So it's saying you need to take the lead in a partnership, or there's a new beginning in a partnership, that when it comes to money, take that however it resonates for your situation. And in the 1st house, there's something you need to cut out of your life. For each of you, you're going to know what that is. It's going to be different for each of you. But with this axe, it needs to be swift. It needs to be fast. Whether this is a person, place, or thing, you need to cut somebody or something out of your life. You specifically. This is something that affects you personally, affects your body. More than likely, it's affecting your health, because here's another piece of crystal quartz, clear crystal quartz, which again, like I say, is a master healer. So it's just more confirmation of this energy over here. Get yourself balanced. There's something you need to quit doing. you have the number 2 domino in the very center. So this is about 2 things coming together, whether that's people, places, or things, right? Well, you can't really have 2 places coming together in geography. I mean, you can if you're looking at like property lines, but maybe that applies to somebody. Property lines are applying to somebody, but this is about 2 things coming together. So support, partnership, and it looks like you're attracting support or partnership with this piece of hematite, but that's also coming over your 10th house, which I'm not surprised about because of the energy that we've already seen with the blue avians. In the 11th house, which has to do with like your network, your social circle, the people, either your friends or the people that you socialize with. It can also be online activities. You've got the bee here, you've got the octopus, and so it's very interesting that these 2 are coming out together, because the octopus is very heavy water energy, very clingy energy. Like it'll suck the life out of you, drown you, suffocate you. If it could take you down to the depths with it, it would, right? Like it's not doing it because it wants to kill you. It's doing it because it wants to just get to know you, right? It wants to be your friend, right? It's octopus energy. And no offense to any Pisces out there, but that's just that's Pisces energy to me. It always feels like Pisces energy, but that's coming out again. Also, you've got the moon twice, so it's the other reason that I'm reading this as Pisces energy. But you know, Pisces energy can be a little bit clingy if we're being honest. So what it's saying is, also the bee was upside down on the board. So because the bee was upside down, it's saying that there could be a lot of work. Like if you're doing something online, there could be a lot of work related to the work that you're doing online that you are not seeing. It could be related to the people that you're interacting with and how clingy that they are, right? Like maybe they really rely on you. Maybe they need a lot of your attention or something. Or this is something that you need to be aware of if you haven't started doing what we're talking about already, right? Or if you're just getting started doing what we're talking about, you're not aware of all of the attention that you're going to need to spend on your network. All of the work that you're going to need to put into that beyond the work that you're already doing is what that's saying to me. And then we have the moon coming out over in the 12th house with Pisces, confirming all of this energy over here in the 4th house to me, and what I was seeing there about how you really need to get yourself balanced, especially if this is like a counseling type of situation. Kids are clingy by nature. They can't help it. They need a lot of love and support. They need a lot of attention to be healthy, right? And so if you're going to be working with kids, you need to keep yourself balanced in order to keep them balanced. So I'm going to go ahead and end your reading here. I hope that resonates. If it does not, please, check your moon and, please check your sun, moon, and rising if this one does not resonate. Also, please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends anything you can to help me, and it really, really does help me. And I thank you for watching. Hello, group 2. So let's go ahead and see your Starseed family, which is Nephilim, and you have Amber. Oh, very interesting. So Amber is all about laughter. The Nephilim keywords here say controversial, assessing, and new perspectives. So let's see what the book has to say about the Nephilim first, and then we'll go ahead and proceed with the reading. It says the Nephilim are also known as Anakin, Els, and Elohim. The Nephilim were the humanoid giants of ancient times on Earth that seemingly died out during the last great flood. They stood at 14 feet tall and sometimes even taller. Their origins are unclear. Some sources say they originate from Canaan. Genesis, you know what? Forgive me. I was raised Catholic, but I don't know how to say what is that, chapter 6 verse 4? I don't know how to say that. Whatever, Genesis chapter 6 verse 4, whatever that is, states that they are the sons of God. Later interpretations of this led to the relabeling of them as the fallen ones. The Nephilim were pre-Diluvian and possibly of the original genetic seeding programs. Discovered bones are as old as 50,000 to 300,000 years old. The Hebrew Torah makes mention of Nephilim giants, and the Old Testament book of Samuel mentions Goliath the giant. The book of Enoch makes reference to the giants, as do the Dead Sea Scrolls. The ancient Greeks called their giants the Cyclops and Titans, and Scandinavian pagans mention stories regarding ice giants and trolls. The New Zealand Maori have stories about the red-haired Patuparehe giants that inhabited New Zealand first. In 1911, the ancient Nevada Si-Te-Ka tribe discovered mummified red-haired giants that coincided with their passed-down stories. Giant bones were also discovered in Alaska and Mexico and in the Denisova Cave in Siberia. The Nephilim have a complex and controversial history that sometimes weirdly overlaps into Anunnaki genetic territory. So the card meaning in its upright or healthy energy is controversial, assessing, critiquing. They have extrasensory perception, brute strength. There are temptations, new perspectives, new ideas, hope. They are processing, and they're rustic. But when they're in their negative or toxic energy, they can be critical, condemning, chauvinistic, crude, a little, they're like outdated or old-fashioned perspectives, and they have unrealistic expectations. So it's interesting to me that we have amber or laughter coming out with this card, because I can really see that. I wasn't surprised having that come out with the Nephilim for some reason. Like, as soon as I saw it, I had the image of the jolly green giant, right? Like, the happy giant. So take that however it resonates for your situation. Like, maybe you just have a really big personality, and you you tend to be happy quite often. So one other thing that I'd like to do is get a couple more crystals, because not everyone is going to like amber. Let's see what other crystals might work for you, or would be good for you to use with the energy of the Nephilim. As I'm looking at this card, I really do feel like you're very strong. Like, if you are not physically strong, there's a serious strength coming through. Obviously giants would be strong anyway, right? Because there's so much, like, they wouldn't have any problem pulling a tree out of the ground compared to how difficult it would be for us to, or excuse me, I guess I should talk for myself, because not everybody's going to be as short as I am, but like, it would be like if I was to go up and pull some weeds out of my yard, as opposed to try and pull a tree out of my yard, right? Whereas someone who's much bigger than I am, or a giant, could come in and just pluck that tree out of the yard with no problem. It feels like that's sort of, the strength that's coming through here. Like, you have a strength to you, to your character, to your personality in some way that other people do not have. Whether that is that you are actually physically strong, like you might be a masculine watching this who is just very muscular, very tall, very big. You might be shaped just like this dude here, right? Or you could be a feminine who just has a really big personality, and it's because your strength of character is just so much more than what the other people around you would be, right? Just take it however it resonates for your situation. But I think you're also very like with this card, I get Jupiter. Like you could be a Sagittarius. I should say, I know you're Aries. This is an Aries reading, but you could be like Sagittarius sun, or excuse me, rising or moon or even sun, because maybe you're watching this as an Aries rising and you have a Sagittarius sun, or maybe you're an Aries sun and you've got a Sagittarius moon or something like that. There's something about your character or your personality that's just so much stronger, but you also have like an aspect of Jupiter's charisma, which is that Sagittarian energy coming through with this amber here. I think that's the reason that they're saying that this crystal would be good for you, because there's something happy-go-lucky, very charming, very bright, and very Jupiterian about your energy. So anyway, let me get a few more shuffles and we'll get a couple more crystals to see. I love the colors on that card. All right. Interesting. Oh, I didn't mean to get that many, but I guess we're going to take them. So we have green tourmaline on the bottom of the deck. I love tourmaline. And, you know, green tourmaline is about enlightenment. But the reason that it is about enlightenment is because it's a heart chakra stone. I love the colors on this card. And look at the emanation, right? That's the energy of green tourmaline in a geometric fashion, right? This is the spirit, or the crystal deva. This is the depiction of the crystal deva here. Beautiful, right? It's a heart chakra stone. This deva looks very, very serene. The heart is very much highlighted here. Especially with the Jupiter energy that was already coming through, I think you're probably a very generous person. All right. Interesting. Okay, so you have 4 cards. I thought it was 3, but it's actually 4. So we have kyanite, blue kyanite. So this is, you know, throat chakra energy. But it's actually, you know, the gray is actually standing out, especially when I put it next to the celestial quartz. So this gray here is standing out very much in the blue energy. All kyanite is very balancing for the chakras. It's like it can, you know, cleanse and balance your energy very quickly. Especially black kyanite, that, you know, people like me who read cards, they'll keep a piece of black kyanite with their cards because it just cleanses the energy so quickly, right? Not everyone, but a lot of people do. Some use other black stones, but black kyanite is really good for like immediate, it just really balances things out. And so that's what this blue kyanite is talking about, like keeping things in balance, keeping things in alignment. I feel like it's saying it's really important for you to keep yourself in balance, because the other aspect of it when it comes to Jupiter and, you know, the bright energy that comes from Jupiter is that Jupiter can be it's abundant, but it can also be a little overindulgent, right? Like the party can last a little too long sometimes, and then having celestial quartz come out. And by the way, it says angelic truth, which, remember, the Nephilim are considered the angels or of God. So anyway, I feel like there's really a message here about the gray area, something about the gray area and overabundance and keeping yourself balanced. That's really important. Take it however it resonates for your situation. Now we have Moldavite and Tiger's Eye. These two, I think it's like a separate message. Like if you're going to wear these two, because Moldavite, well, actually, because of tiger's eye, it is a solar plexus chakra stone. It like really helps you put your will into action. But I feel like if you are really trying to embrace this energy, you would wear these two stones together, Moldavite and tiger's eye. But if you're trying to get balanced from overindulgence, you would use kyanite and celestial quartz. That's a very specific message coming through. I mean, it may not be for everyone, so only take it if it resonates. Let's get some more information as to how you're supposed to use this. It's something about your strength. One more. Actually, I feel like it needs to go this way. All right. I have to be honest. I have to be really honest. I feel like it's saying with these cards that came out and the laughter card, I feel like it's saying like you're using laughter to hide sadness. You see the way he's laying across the branch of this, I guess it's a tree. Like in the picture, her face looks content. I don't know if this is a he or she, whatever. I guess it's a female. But her face kind of looks content. But it's not so much about the imagery as much in this card as it is about the imagery in this card. And just the feeling that I have, like this, what I'm feeling right now is that there's this energy of like you're using laughter to cover sadness. And it's interesting because I wanted to find out like how are you supposed to use this energy to your advantage, and I feel like it's saying you're supposed to use this energy to overcome this sadness, to overcome this tendency to use the laughter and some sort of overindulgence. You're supposed to use the energy to clear yourself, to get yourself balanced with these two cards over here, to get yourself out of the gray area. I think that's the reason that the gray in that card was standing out so much. There's something about a gray area, a sadness. Let me read this card one more time. I just want to see what it says about the, okay. So it doesn't really say anything other than their origins and how they were referenced many times throughout history. So when it gets to the card meaning, though, it says controversial, assessing, critiquing, ESP, brute strength, temptations, new perspectives. I wonder if you are like, if you're either a comedian or a writer or something, or maybe you're supposed to use comedy, like you're supposed to use your strength as comedy. Like, okay, so there's something here about using laughter to hide sadness. Maybe you're supposed to use that. Hold on. Because you have the Page of Swords as your final. It has to be that you have to use that in some way to communicate to the world in some way. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck over here. And we've got the Ten of Wands. They're all puppets on strings. Look at that. The strings. It's like to lift burdens or something. Look at the Fool is a new beginning with the Knight of Wands. And then the Lovers. So positive energy with the exception of this card. And they all look sad, just like your energy. But, you know, obviously not everyone in this card can be you. And typically the Ten of Wands usually only shows one person carrying a very heavy load of wands up to the castle, right? But it looks to me like these are people who are puppets on strings, and they all look really sad. They're being manipulated in some way. Probably by society. I just have to say it how it feels, right? Because you can't really see anything other than the castle and then those strings. And usually a castle is some sort of leader or what do you call it? Authority figure, right? He's probably the one pulling the strings, so that's going to be some sort of bureaucrat. Let's get some more. I feel like there's something about using laughter to bring other people out of depression in some way. So let's get some more details with our raunchy deck here. I guess it's not really raunchy, it's just sort of, you know, a little extra. So now we've got the Fool again. She's spotlit in a way by this open door, by all the light coming through this open door. So again, like maybe you are a comedian, maybe you need to, or a writer if you're not a comedian. Look at Seven of Probes. This is, and it came separate from the other three, so having to defend yourself. And it's just too ironic to me that that came out with this deck, and look at what he's holding, right? So whatever you're saying, like especially if you are a comedian or somebody who writes or uses their words. If you're not on stage as a comedian, like maybe you write, and whatever you're writing is being delivered to other people in some way, and like you're having to defend what it is that you're writing, especially because look at the Ace of Specimens. So this is the Page of Swords again. Twice now you've got the Page of Swords as your final card, which is, as you can see, he's communicating. Right, he's talking to someone, and he's happy about it. Shooting words with that ray gun, and then probably going around traveling, offering his viewpoints, because that's what the Ace of Specimens or the Ace of Cups would be, right? Six of Swords is moving on to bigger and better things, so definite travel. Especially with this imagery. So yeah, take this however it resonates, but like really I think there's you're either speaking in some way, and you're trying to use like laughter in some way, you know, or they're saying you should use laughter, and however it is that you're speaking, whatever it is that you're saying, your perspective is going to be different to the point where you're definitely going to have to defend yourself, because a lot of people are not going to like what you have to say. Especially if it's about Starseed stuff, right? Like maybe that's why they're saying laughter is your strength, or your ability to use laughter to take yourself out of depression is your strength. But I do think this, whatever you're doing, this whole speaker stuff is taking other people out of depression because of this card. Like you're taking some sort of burden off of, or manipulation, right? Like you're taking people out of the matrix is what I'm hearing, out of the matrix. Bringing them a new beginning, helping them to walk or to ascend, right? Look at the next one would be the Tower. This deck cracks me up. Anyway, And so the reason that I was laughing or saying the next one would be the Tower, like, because you have when you have the Fool and the Tower together, this is like a very unexpected new beginning, right? An unexpected ascension, like leaving one situation. Like obviously you can see if she walks to the doorway, she's no longer in space, right? She's going into the 3D once she goes into this doorway, or maybe not the 3D. I'm just assuming it's a 3D because it's all white. You can't really see anything. But it is going into the unknown, leaving, and it's sudden, and it's kind of chaotic, and especially if you're like somebody who is a comedian, or a speaker or a writer in some way, like maybe whatever you're doing, you find success with it suddenly. We are having the new moon eclipse tonight and tomorrow, so that could be kind of playing into what just came out here, but I do think you're going to have to defend yourself, definitely. Let's go ahead and move on to the charms to see if there's anything else, any other information or anything pertaining to what they just told you about this particular Starseed family that you need to be aware of. And when I say be aware of, we're actually going to put a little bit of a time limit on it, because I like to do that whenever I'm doing these charm readings with this particular board. That I mean for them to be for about a month, typically. All right. You got a lot of charms. I didn't mean to grab that many, but okay. So quite a few of them landed in the center. So we have the Eye of Horus. We've got some scissors. We've got the teapot. And then we had the guitar, but I accidentally pushed it up into the 10th house. Okay. So that means either music or something creative is going to put you, for your career is going to be important for, and remember I brought up Sagittarius before. I'm pretty sure that this is the reading for Aries that I brought up Sagittarius, so that's more confirmation you might have Sagittarius in your chart in some way. But I think something creative definitely for your career, like that's going to be really important with that guitar there. Also, it's saying listen to the music, and I just realized I don't have my music on. Normally I'm listening to music when I'm doing these readings, and I haven't heard a single song. What's up with that? I'm not going to worry about it too much. We're just going to finish with the reading, but I apologize if you were waiting for your songs. So having this energy here in the center, we've got a piece of tourmalated quartz. We've got the teapot, some protection energy, and the scissors. So I feel like what this is saying is that probably within the next month, you're going to get some information that's going to seem like gossip. And you remember we had the Page of Swords twice. That is one of the meanings of the Page of Swords. It can be a card of gossip. So you might hear some gossip. And you might need to protect yourself by, cutting someone off, especially with this tourmalated quartz coming out with it. Like you have to clear your energy, right? Clear the toxic people out of your energy. You're going to have to cut someone off, I think, within the next month. That's going to be a main focus, and it might be a difficult focus. So I'm going to move this over to the side so that we can focus on the rest of the charms. Coming into the 12th and 1st houses, there's a little bit of confirmation of that energy with the me versus me charm. It's something that's coming in. It's going to blindside you, this information or whatever this is that you hear. You're not really going to like it. And you have a big chunk of tourmaline coming out on top of the sun. So, like, it's saying, like, this chunk of tourmaline is pretty big for my charm bucket. So protect yourself, right? Coming out in the 12th house, protect yourself. And then the sun is always about clarity. So the tourmaline was sitting on top of the sun, right? Use this clarity to protect yourself. You're not going to want to do it. For whatever reason, it's going to be difficult. You're not going to want to do it. You have a piece of clear quartz coming out over the second house with a star here over the earth element in the second house. So the second house is all about money and values. That could be your own personal values or anything that you have that's of value. But I think this is more about your personal values. Like your personal values can really can be abundant for you, can make you a star, right? We already saw that where like maybe you're writing or speaking or something creative that's going to put you in the spotlight, and it's going to be successful probably very suddenly. But within a couple of months, you're going to really need to clear your energy in some way, maybe heal in some way, detox or something. It's interesting that you have the phone coming out over the third house. There's some sort of communication coming in that's going to be really important for you over the next month. So just, don't discount any communication that comes in. Could be regarding of course it's regarding what we just talked about, because that was my intention. But as I'm saying that, I just noticed we have another phone coming in here over the fifth house. Hold on. And the fifth house is the house of ooh, look at. So you've got the number 2 domino. So this is 2 things coming together, probably some support coming in for something creative that you're going to hear news on, you're going to get a call on. And the gun typically represents like, however, you only have so many chances, like you're taking a shot at something or aiming for something, right? You have 6 chances to do something, or it could be like your last shot at something, or you have to pull the trigger on something. There's communication attached to that that's going to be really important for you. So pay attention to what it is that you're saying, and how you're communicating your creative ideas, because you're probably going to have to defend yourself. We don't have anything for the 6th house, but for the 7th house we have another piece of tourmalated quartz. So more confirmation of the need to clear out your friend circle, or the people that you associate with, for your own protection. With the 8th house, we have the number 12 domino, the highest denomination domino, right? Like if you're playing the game of dominoes, everybody wants this one because you can get the highest points, right? And that's coming out over the house of joint resources, also the house of sex. And the only reason that I bring that up is because we have the child coming out over here. So within a few months, now this could, and I'm so sorry for this message, but because this can be a dual message, right? Coming out with the number 6, or the number 12 domino, which is a double 6, 66, right? So either the number 66 or 12 could be important, but the number 66, that's usually, again, good luck, or when you're playing dominoes, it's a good domino to have. So this could be very fortunate for you when it comes to like joint resources. But you have to be very balanced and clear on your spending, right? Stay balanced. Because this house also deals with like death and endings. So if you are someone who has lost a child, I apologize for that. It could be that you might need to do some, basically what this could be saying is that you might need to do some healing work over that issue, probably within several months, because of the child coming out off of the actual board. It's a child on a bicycle, actually, a child riding a bike. Or if it's not about healing the loss of a child over the next several months, then this message could be, because this is the house of sex, right, and joint resources. It could be that, you might want to take precautions to prevent a child, or there could be a child coming in for you over the next several months. So just take that however it resonates. And if you can't have children, you know, then it's typically something new, or maybe someone else around you is having a child that you might hear about, and it might feel like really good news. Interesting to me, though, that I just realized that you've got these are the opposing houses, and we've got clear quartz coming out twice. So it really is kind of doubling down the message to me of healing over a loss, whether that's a loss, a financial loss, or a heavy, you know, the loss of a child, which again, if that is you, I'm so sorry for that. Now in the 9th house, you have the charm that says focus on the good, right? So this is kind of piggybacking off of this message. It's saying if you are the one who has to heal over this loss, they're asking you to focus on the good, because that is what is going to help you to bring in or manifest your fortune, because you have the good luck charm with the magician's hat. Like, you know exactly what it is that you need and want, what it is that will make your soul sing, right? And so if you want to manifest that, you know, you need to focus on all of the good things that are happening around you in your current situation, but as well as what's happening with this situation over here. We already spoke about the guitar with the 10th house, as well as the Sagittarius charm, but I didn't say anything about the charm that says I can. So, and then no matter where, the other charm that says no matter where. So I feel like this is saying, like, you can, like, there's support for you no matter where you go or what you do, is what the no matter where charm, I always see it that way. Like, it could be from a Sagittarius, but it doesn't have to be. Like, the Sagittarius, it strikes me as taking aim at something, right? And this is saying no matter where, like, especially if this is something that you can do online or from home, or you travel for it. Like, if you're a writer and you can work from home, or you have some sort of blog that you do online, or you are a comedian and you travel, right? Like, you can do this no matter where you are. Like, you can succeed, right? No matter where you are. We do have the octopus coming out over the 11th house. It's saying that, like, your friends and the people that you socialize and network with can be a little bit clingy with that, especially over the next month. And you might not be aware of it, how they're, like, kind of suffocating and clinging a little bit too much. And it's just because they want to be with you and get to know you, but, you know, it's just a little bit too heavy, a little bit too much. You may not see it yet, but it's coming. And, oh, actually, I think that's it. So I hope that resonates. If it does not, please watch for your sun, moon, or rising. Please like, share, comment, hit the notification bell, anything that you can to help me. And it really does help me. And I thank you very much for watching. Good morning, Group 3. So it's a new day, and I apologize for the lighting. Actually, now that I have it recording, I'm noticing that it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's a very rainy, kind of dark, dreary day today. Actually, it was yesterday too, which is the reason that I stopped recording, but we're going to finish the video this morning. First thing we want to do, oh, interesting. Very interesting that we had 2 cards come out, and the first card has 2 people. So I think this group is meant to, they're meant to probably have a relationship. There's something about, I think definitely they're meant to have a relationship, but I'm not sure. I want to read both of the cards to see what this one means. Oh, actually, this is talking about a toxic relationship. Okay. At least that's what I'm picking up on it, just based on the words that are here. We have the words lovers, erotica, sensuality, stalking, intimidation, and confrontation. Another thing that's interesting too is that there are numbers 14 and 13. So the numbers are kind of descending, right? So it's not like the energy gets better, like it gets lower because the numbers are getting lower. So we'll read the Nagas first. Ancient Hindu and Buddhist texts speak of the semi-divine serpent beings called Nagas, which is Sanskrit for serpent. The Nagas are described as powerful, very beautiful, and highly advanced snake reptoid beings that are advantageous to humans, while also dangerously fearsome and temperamental if provoked. Ancient iconography depicts the Nagas with upper human faces and torsos and snake bodies from the waist down. Nagas is male and Naginis is female. Some suggest the Nagas could be a human hybridized genotype from the Alpha Draconian race. Like the Alpha Draconians, Nagas have the capacity to shapeshift into total human form. We have the song Arizona Pretty by Kaylee, the girl that I can never say her name correctly because I don't want to butcher it, but Morgue. Where was I? It says the Naga's full form is the fourth dimensional and not visible to the average low third vibrational human sensory perception. The Hindu epic poem, the Mahabharata, God, I apologize if I said that incorrectly. I don't want to try it again. I apologize if I said it incorrectly. The epic Hindu poem makes references to the Nagas. Many ancient iconographies and texts around the world depict powerful serpent beings, including Quetzalcoatl from Mexico, the rainbow serpent from Aboriginal Australia, and Greek god Glykon and goddess Echidna. Being subterranean, the Nagas prefer to mostly reside in the deep, dense oceanic waters or subterranean citadels or talalas away from human populations. They are highly protective of their private environments. Unlike the terra firma, walking, talking humanoids, Nagas are more comfortable inhabiting the subtle, sensual energy fields where they fluidly regenerate their inbuilt elixir or nectar of immortality from the depths of the ocean. And I apologize for stumbling over that. Part of it is the song. I have the music turned down pretty low, but this song, for some reason, it kind of sounded like it was screaming at me, to be honest. So I'm going to turn it down just a little bit more, just so that I don't get distracted while I'm reading the next one. But it just for your reference, typically when that happens with the music, after I've tried to make sure that I've got it at a really good level for the reading, that means that song there's going to be something in that song that might be important to your situation. So you'll want to Google the lyrics and just check it out to see. Just keep in mind, not everything from the song will pertain to your situation. It might, but it more than likely won't. More than likely, it'll probably be just like one word or sentence or something that triggers a thought or something inside of you. So, okay, let's move on to the MIBs, because so far, even with this energy here, they seem very secretive and protective. And then you've got this stalking energy. And I have to be honest, like all of this put together, I wouldn't be surprised if the people who've chosen this group have like some, detrimental placements with Venus. Like maybe there's something happening with their Venus and Pluto, or their house placement. They could have Venus in the 8th house in some way, or something to that effect. Now, since this is an Aries reading, it's not possible for it to be a Venus in Scorpio unless you have Aries rising and you happen to have maybe a Scorpio sun or, Sagittarius, or because, Venus can only be about 2.5 signs away from the sun. So if you do have Venus in Scorpio, that means that you have either an Aries moon or an Aries rising as you're watching this. But this energy, just looking at it so far, especially with this green calcite, it says letting go, the words on this card here. So there's an element of obsession and stalking. Let's go ahead and read the... We have the song I'll Still Have Me, Sin. C-Y-N is how you spell it, for those who don't know. Okay, so the MIB, or Men in Black, are also known as Horlocks. They are android, biosynthetic humanoids, supposedly manufactured by the Alpha Draconians. Wasn't there something about the Alpha Draconians in here? Hold on. Yeah, so they are connected. And just so I'm sure that you saw in the beginning of the reading that I shuffled the cards. Also, I had to separate the cards from the deck. So the chances of these two cards coming out together, you know, unless they were completely stuck to each other and they just didn't want to, like, come apart, I don't think this was coincidental that they came out together, not with this particular card coming out as well, where it's talking about letting go. This is really energy of being like obsessive, being obsessed with someone, obsessed with one person in particular, but it could just be obsessed with love. Let's go ahead and read the MIB. So it says, encounters with MIB have been recorded since the mid-40s. They typically wear black suits with dark sunglasses and are extremely sensitive to sunlight. More recently, MIB have been reported wearing stylized, sophisticated, and upgraded outfits. Being biosynthetic androids, MIB have a creepy, deliberate, crude, soulless, and strange appearance. Their movements are mechanical, awkward, and often uncoordinated, and their peculiarly emotionless presence is described as spongy and macabre. The MIB makes selected intimidation visits to specific people who have had UFO and alien encounters or bizarre paranormal experiences. Witnesses have reported MIB driving black automobiles into canyons, mountains, and tunnels where they appear to have simply dematerialized. So the card meaning is stalking, it's creepy behavior, intimidation, confrontation, threats, spying, interfering, meddling, clumsiness, intrusive behavior, gossiping, petty-mindedness, and theft. And then, but when it's in its reversed position is when it's actually healthy. It says, you know, that's when you're, you know, minding one's own business, healthy boundaries, privacy, confidential, respecting others' space, respecting others' belongings, walking away. So just reading this, I feel immediately that this is talking about, like, this, you probably have something, we have, hold on, we have this song, hold on. Playground by B. Miller. So this is probably a situation where you have, if you don't have, you know, harsh Scorpio, Pluto aspects, like Venus in Scorpio or Venus in the 8th house. You probably have like a North Node in the 8th house or in Scorpio or something. Because this energy is very heavy, and I'm feeling very strongly that what you need to do with this energy is heal it. You need to heal it and turn this card this way. Like, I don't even really need to go to the other cards to be able to tell you that, because obviously this isn't healthy when it's the other way around, right? Did I read what the card meaning was for the Nagas? Okay, so it talks, when it's in its healthy aspect, it talks about tantra, erotica, sensuality, lovers, sexual union, vitality, seductiveness, kundalini, healthy lust and desire. But if it's in the reverse, that's when it becomes frigid. There's sexual frustration, celibacy, there's a third-party situation, abstinence, There's temperamental behavior, sexual issues, lower chakra blockages, and sexual inappropriateness. But this came out in the upright. This one came out in the upright as well. So this is saying one person in this situation is being a little too toxic. They need to heal this. They need to let go. Unless you happen to be, the only other option that I can see in this is that you might happen to be, which would really make sense with Aries, because, you know, Aries is a very active sign. So you could be military, right? You could, maybe you have an awareness of other beings that the military is able to use in some way. Maybe you have a history with military. I can't really say there's like a law enforcement vibe, but the spying and stalking vibe is really strong with this. Very creepy. Not good energy. So whatever it is, you got to heal it in some way. Maybe this was something that you had to do in the military, and now there's stuff that you have to heal from that. So I am going to go ahead and get some more cards here just to see what else I want to say. We have the song Denim and Rhinestones by Carrie Underwood. And, you know, as I was saying this from the perspective of the person stalking, and take that however it resonates. You could just be a cross watcher. Like, maybe this is energy of someone who's been doing this to you, and it's time for you to heal that and to help others heal as well. That's just something that, in the moment, I was like, man, I didn't... Like, I should feel scared, right? With this energy coming through, like, this is really, it does feel very creepy looking at this card, right? But this also could be past energy, right? Because they're talking about letting go. So anyway, it just hit me. So interesting too, because this song is like Denim and Rhinestones, and it's talking about how two people go together so well. We have two people here. We have the two cards come out. One of the people is obviously doing some sort of spying or stalking or something. They're like hidden in the background because they can't let go, and it's because they feel that... and I did not mean for this reading to take on any kind of love, anything. This was totally meant to be like starseed energy. I did not expect this at all, but I feel like this is tied into your starseed energy. And actually, God, I can't believe I'm going to say this because I don't believe in the twin flame theory. I've said this before in my videos. I don't subscribe to the twin flame theory unless that theory accounts for, you know, or not accounts for, unless that theory is you becoming one with yourself, you bringing the two parts of yourself together. That's the only way in which I would say twin flame would apply, especially because this energy is so heavy and creepy, right? So if this is an experience that you've been through before and you need to heal this, right? This is your message where, you know, especially if you've been following those twin flame videos, those twin flame readers who keep telling you, oh, you know, your person is coming, your person is coming. I don't even know exactly what all they say, okay. And I'm not trying to put anybody down here. It's just that, you know, my purpose in doing these readings is because, you know, I want to help people if they're really feeling like they have nowhere to go, no one to talk to, they need answers. Maybe they don't trust the people that are around them to talk to them. Whatever the case is, maybe they've done their own readings and they just want confirmation for what it is that's going on in their life, right? That's the reason that I do these readings. I'm not here to blow, you know, smoke up your ass. Sorry for my wording, but you know, I cuss a lot. That's just who I am. I cuss a lot. So anyway, I'm going to tell you the truth. And the truth is, how are you ever going to have a relationship if you're not healthy? And if this is the energy that is your relationship, this is not healthy. And if you've been watching twin flame videos and this is the energy of your relationship, you need a wake-up call. You need to let go because it's not healthy. And I'm so sorry. I actually meant to get other... Look, we have the song Kings and Queens by Ava Max now. See, just more confirmation that this is not healthy. Whatever this energy is around you, you've got to turn this card into the reverse. That's how we want it to come out. But you know, I typically, like, as a reader, it's just my own personal preference. I don't like to read reversals unless they fall from the deck and they fall that way, right? Then I feel like, well, that's meant to be in the reverse. So I'm never going to shuffle the cards in such a way, or at least I'm going to try not to shuffle the cards in such a way as to get reversals unless I know ahead of time that I'm supposed to. And I didn't read the book because that's another thing. Like, I'm trying to read the book right here with you, right? So I didn't know that this one was going to need to be reversed in any way. It didn't really dawn on me. So I think it was meant to come out this way, to be honest with you, because it did not fall. I remember feeling like I think this was one that I pulled. So, God, I hate giving harsh readings like this because I always feel like I'm busting somebody's bubble or I'm disappointing somebody. And, you know, I'm so sorry if I am doing that. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I don't want to do that, but sometimes that's the best way to heal as well, is through truth. You have to have truth. And with this energy here, whatever's going on with you, whoever has chosen this pile, it's something that is not healthy, that needs to be healed. Yeah, you're going to definitely want to Google this song. I don't remember exactly what the lyrics were, but it was something about don't get too close. You'll get a royalty high or something. Maybe the person that you're dealing with has like a complex about being better than. Look at, you've got the Chariot, which talks about like moving on to, or actually overcoming chaos and the victory with that, which is really good energy to have come out. Now we have the Empress with the Two of Cups. More very positive energy. I feel like you're supposed to help people with their relationships. Maybe you're gonna be the way that she's holding this. It looks like it could be the World or an orbs. Yeah, it's the World. She's holding the world in her hand, right? And she's immersed in water with a bunch of fish. So fish represent abundance. Like, it can be financial abundance, but also emotional abundance because of the water that she's sitting in. And she's obviously got the heart on her face. I think this is like, you could, so I think you could help people to like find their match or help them to find healthy love, is what this is saying, to overcome chaos. You know, you might have been even, you know, called to more than just one pile in this particular reading. And if you were, you will know already what I'm talking about. But there was another pile for Aries that had a counseling aspect to it. So it could be that maybe that's what you're meant to do. But I feel like you're bringing people together in some way, like maybe matchmaking or something in some way. Maybe in a spiritual way because you're watching me, right? Maybe even astrologically. And interesting too, we have, so this is a side message, A Woman's Worth, Alicia Keys. So, okay, so with this little side message, it's talking about healing this here. Especially if you were the object of someone's obsession or someone's stalking. It's talking about, you know, healing this in order to find someone healthy so that you can get away from that energy. It also could be just because there's all of these flowers coming up here, like maybe there's someone that might have a little bit of a crush on you as well, and just take that however it resonates, like maybe they're right around the corner. Interesting. This one's going to be kind of short because like I don't really feel like I even need to get the clarifiers here, but I am going to ask for clarifiers before we move on to the charms. Actually, let me take this one off the bottom of the deck. This one was a very specific, very clear. Look at the Emperor now. We have the Empress and the Emperor. I think there is someone who, I think there's like someone right around the corner or something. What is this? There's a message of new love here. It's coming so strong, and it comes after you move away from the, or after you get victory over the chaos, move away from the chaos. There's new love here. More horses. This is the Knight of Cups. So freedom. And now we have the Knight of Pentacles, and but it's been coming very slowly. And look at, this is a fish, right? A fish that's like meant to be a horse, but this is the Knight of Pentacles. So this is a very emotional knight, even though it's Pentacles. So this is probably, I mean, it doesn't have to be an earth sign, but it's probably somebody who's very grounded, right? Probably a workaholic or someone who really takes their time, wants to make sure they're doing things right. And they've taken their time, but they're very emotional when they come in. And there's an aspect of freedom here as well. Interesting. And now we have the Justice card, balance as well. Okay, I'm going to stop there. And look, maybe even music. Now we have another knight, the Knight of Wands. This one's very passionate with the music. Typically, I would say the Knight of Wands is a little, you know, because he's always moving, right? He's always moving around, coming and going, moving, right? So it's unreliable energy, but I don't know, this one is very like, let me serenade you. It's very emotional again. This knight is very emotional. And actually this could be your Aries energy coming out. Like you could have Aries with some earth and water mixed in. Like those could be your top three. Or maybe the person coming in could have fire, earth, and water mixed. All right, and then we have a lot of communication. Very interesting. I did not mean for this to be a love reading in any way, but you can't deny it with that. So we have this song, interesting. So whoever is watching this that was the object of someone's obsession is sitting there going, well, I don't fuck with feelings anymore, because we have Upsal. It just came on. As soon as I started talking about all that, I don't fuck with feelings anymore. Nope. Go away. I don't care. I don't want anybody to come in. Don't waste your time on me. But I think it's there. I think it's coming anyway, and I think they're very passionate. You guys will probably talk a lot, by the way. And look we have the Eight of Pentacles. Maybe you might even work together. I didn't mean to keep going, and it's what you've been waiting for with the Three of Wands here. Quite literally, what you've been, look at. Aww. This one is the Four of Wands. Look. It's a celebration, but that's how they're celebrating, Netflix and chill. Okay, and look at now the Six of Wands, recognition. They see your pain, they recognize it, they understand it, and they're not gonna like, dude, I wanna cry too because of the card, oh my God. And like, this is not the meaning of the Five of Wands, but I feel like they also have a message for you of they would like climb any, or they would walk a tightrope, or they would climb any obstacle or scale any obstacle to I think to be with you, honestly. Interesting. And now we have the Judgment card in the reverse. So this is energy of like not awake. I think that's the person that's saying I don't fuck with feelings anymore. They're not awake yet. They're not awake. They need to mature a little bit. I'm sorry to keep going, but now we have the Four of Cups. They're bored with their life, and it's time for them to mature. Once they wake up and ascend, that's when it comes in. Okay, I'm going to stop with that because I was asking for more, and I wanted to use these for clarifiers, but I'm only going to pull one because we have so many here, and we kind of really don't need these. But we have them. Let's use them, right? And see, even the music is telling me we don't really need these cards because like it went to commercial, which is typically if I was like with a client or something, this would be my cue to stop. Oh look, Lovers. We didn't even need the confirmation, like I was just saying. It's on commercial. Talking about saving water was what the commercial. California's, not just California, but that's where I happen to be personally. I probably shouldn't say that. But it was talking about the water shortage. So if it's talking about the water shortage and you have the Lovers coming out to confirm this particular card here and the entire message that came out already, I feel like it's saying it's really talking about you going and doing this healing so that you can open yourself. We have one last song, Polaroid by Imagine Dragons. Okay, so let me get your charms. Now the charms, what I've been doing with these is we're looking at what do you need to be aware of over the next month pertaining to this. You know what, I meant to get you another crystal card, but that's okay. Where are we? We need Aries. Okay, so Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. All my life I've been living in the fast lane, can't slow down. I'm a rolling freight train, I think it says. Oh, I'm a roller coaster. I don't know what he's saying. You'll have to Google it. All right. So you got two charms that are special charms in my box. So let's talk about those first. And actually they coincide very, very strongly with these two crystals here. So with this crystal here sitting in the center, right, this tells me, and also with the bird coming in over the 12th house for you. So birds represent communication. Now, this bird is in a cage, right? So this bird is trapped in some way. This can, and take this however it resonates. This is falling in the house of Pisces, so this can talk about, because it is the 12th house, it can talk about jail or like hospitalizations, right? But this bird here is trapped. There's no cage door there. There's no way to get out. But there's messages coming from the bird. Is obviously talking and singing as birds do. They make noise. They, you know, so there is some information coming to you, but it's trapped, probably trapped in dream time. That's what this particular crystal, this particular stone. When I was doing live readings, live mini reads on Facebook, I used to do them, I don't know, every couple of days or whatever it was. I would use this stone. I would like hold this stone in my hand to help me, to help open my third eye. That's part of the reason that it has this like spot right there. It's from my thumb, right? So it's literally one that I use in ritual, right? And so there's a message there for you where you need to focus on that. You need to focus on meditation, getting yourself balanced, but more importantly, you need to focus on it because you're getting messages. Now, these two particular charms are special in my charm box. So this one here was one that was given to me by my Auntie Tina. She gave it to me before she passed, just to let me know that she loved me when she gave me another gift. She gave me two charms, but you only got one of them in this reading. One was, I'm going to show it to you, an angel heart. It's a heart that has an angel inside of it. She said that was so that I knew that the angels were always protecting me. And this one was so that I knew that she loved me. But this is coming out over the 5th house. So, you know, this could be, it may not be your aunt. This could be like your mother, right? Or if you have lost a child, it could be your child. And the only reason that I say that is because these two are so close together, and you have this one coming out over the 3rd house. So we've got 3rd and 5th house. We've got messages coming in dream time. We've got the stone that I would use if I was trying to receive messages in ritual in your focused spot. And this one is a charm that belongs to my granddaughter, who is now too old to play with it. But it represents like surprises. It's like a ice cream cup, but you can see the happy face on there, right? So these are good messages. These are happy messages that are coming in, right? And not just of love, but like there's protection as well. Protection from your ancestors. So like there's more than one person coming through with this message of love, and like there are good things to come, I think is also the message. Be yourself with the peacock here. Be yourself. We have the song. Give me one second. Wild Things by Alicia Cara. Okay, and then coming out over the 5th house, we have, look at, so this is also not just the house of kids, but it's also the house of romance. And so, you know, you have the number 2 domino coming out here, which is 2 things coming together. If I can get that to focus. See? So 2 things coming together within several months after you do this cleansing. And because this also protects you as well. You've got tourmalated quartz here. That's what this stone does. The clear quartz is a master healer. It cleanses and balances your chakras, all of them. And the tourmaline in it is very protective because it the striations in the tourmaline carry light. So it carries light through your chakras to keep them balanced. So that's how it protects you. It keeps you balanced. So once you do that, within several months, you've got this partnership coming on. You have protection here as well. that's coming in over your 7th house. So this could either be or excuse me, no, 6th house. You're protected at work, sorry. Also, if you're worried about your health, don't worry. I feel like there's clarity coming over that, like don't worry. But you need to get clear because this is the Eye of Horus, right? We're talking about getting clear already with this, clearing and balancing yourself. But you are protected at work. Don't worry. This was your 7th house here. We don't have anything here, but over the 8th and 9th houses. So this is like joint resources in the 8th house. Also the house of like sex, sexual issues, which I'm sure come into play with the energy that we already saw in the reading. And so having this straddling both the 8th and 9th houses, it's saying like you don't think that you can do this again, right? Like you don't think that you can allow yourself to love again, or you don't think you can allow yourself to trust again. I can't tell if that's focusing or not. We have the song Only One by The Score. Also with this, it's a piece of malachite with something else mixed into it. But this is a heart chakra stone. I think it's actually malachite with azurite, now that I can't remember exactly. But anyway, it's a heart chakra stone. So again, it's talking about healing and opening your heart so that you can trust again. Trust yourself to be vulnerable again. So, and then the final charm that we have, oh no, actually we didn't look at this one here, which is, it says, focus on the good. That's coming out over the 1st and 2nd house. So that's for you personally, to focus on the good and the things, like maybe there were things that you know, you valued. I know that's like hard to say, but there's a reason that you were attracted to, if you were the object of someone's stalking, right? If it was like a relationship, because I really feel like this is probably a situation where this is a relationship where one person does not want to let go. I don't think this is necessarily a stranger situation, although I do think that there is a person coming in that's a stranger to you, at least, or to someone. Maybe you're the stranger, right? But there's this need to heal here, definitely. This need to like open up and be able to trust again. And so it comes because there was a reason that you were attracted to this person that, you know, overstepped their bounds, let's put it that way. So focus on the good things and try to find those things, or try to allow yourself to open to the good things in someone else without what's the word? Because I can't even say without assuming that they're going to be the negative, because I have complex PTSD myself. And so you can't just say, well, you can't focus on the negative. It's always going to be there. You just have to learn how to manage it, how to work through it, how to work through the anxiety and the fear, to focus on what's real and what is your fear coming through, right? What is your trauma coming through? So that's what this is talking about. Also over here with the, in your friendship circle, I gotta say, like, typically I would read the gun as like, having only so many chances, but in this context with such heavy reading, I don't know, maybe it's saying protect yourself in some way. It's just how it feels. Like the gun feels a little dangerous to me. Like maybe there's a friend around you who might be a little bit dangerous. I don't know, but maybe not. Also, we have to go back to the way that the reading started, and like you might feel like you really feel like you need to protect yourself. Maybe that's what needs to be healed. It is sitting directly across from this 5th house. The final song, before I go ahead and end the reading, we have Chlorine, 21 Pilots, and it's exactly 10:55 when I was looking at that. So we already had the 10, but 55 adds up to 10. 5s are about big changes. 10 is like a new beginning, which totally fits with this reading. What a good song to close it out. Okay, so I hope that resonates. If it does not, please watch your sun, moon, or rising. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, anything that you can to help, and it really does help. And I thank you very much for watching.